All right, shalom to the whole full elect. Shabbat shalom, rather, to the whole full elect of the nation of Israel. We're going to start off this lesson by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashem,
Hashem,
Yahushua, Bahashem, Barakadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of great Mosul who rule well and have taught this word in truth and sincerity. And peace and mercy to the whole full elect, starting with 144,000. That's pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So once again, GMS Toronto coming at you with another live lesson. And today it's going to be another edition of Doomsday Prophecies. And we're going to get into this thing called Esau is calling it a comet. Esau's calling it a alien invasion. He's calling it a lot of stuff, everything but the truth. As that's his office to do so, is to deceive. Okay. But as you see the title, it says 3-Eye Atlas, the next Black Swan event. All right. 3-Eye Atlas, the next Black Swan event. And if you haven't heard of what that is, we're going to get into it and explain it and bring up precepts according to this man's sorceries by the way of his technologies, as well as his office of deception. Okay, his office of deception. Okay, so we might have to do a part 2 because there's gonna be a lot of information coming out on this. But Lord willing, this is straightforward and edifying and brief, or rather straightforward and edifying. But Malak, I know you got
yes.
Something you want to open up with, and we'll get into it.
Beautiful. We're going to go to the book of Second Ezra, chapter 5, KJV. I'm going to read three verses. Right, we're in this time, and straightforward. So let me get right to it.
And those of you that are watching, hey, let us, and you brothers too. I don't know because I can't really hear the echo, so let us know if there's an echo. But
there's an echo when I speak. On my end,
there's an echo when you speak.
When I can hear myself, but you know.
How about now?
Check.
Still
Check.
there.
Still there.
How about now? Is it there now?
Check. Still there.
Okay, let me try this one more time. Look, we constantly do deal with this problem. Okay, now try again.
Check. It's there still. But
Oh, and come back again.
It's gone?
Check. Yeah, it's gone. Check.
Okay.
It's gone.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So this is. I would like to look at this from the GNT, but I'm going to read it though as well from the KJV. If you could look at it from the GNT. So this is Second Ezra chapter 5. I'm going to read 3 verses today, going into the time in which we live as the end approaches. It says, "Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden." You see? So this talk right here goes strictly into the famine of the word. So as these prophecies, the Lord's prophecies in regards to what Esau is doing in regards to Psyop and the divine receipts, the Lord is going to pull back his truth from these people. Like, just pull back the truth. Let me just be clear. They're not going to understand it, right? And then it says,
what verse are you at?
Verse 1.
Verse 1. All right, go ahead.
So, and it says, I'm going to read it again. "Nevertheless, as coming tokens, behold, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Okay, so we know outside of the temple this exists, exactly what was read here. Okay, in other words, they don't have the eternal truth, and they don't have faith.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, simply put. Verse 2.
Yep, and you got to
Take your
consider what
time.
you're
Take your
taken
time.
by, right?
Mhm.
And nevertheless, you're going to be taken. Well, a lot of these people ultimately are going to be taken by the judgments of the Heavenly Father, right? Yahweh Shai. But they're also going to be taken by the deception, all right,
Psyops. Good.
of the wicked.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
it'll be taken by, again, like you said, by psyops, right,
Mhm.
sorcery, and ultimately by his technology, which is a
Right.
miracle, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Straight.
Which goes to, actually, it's not, it is a miracle, but it goes into the miracles that he's able to do through his technology.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Make you walk again with machines. Verse 2. 2 Ezra 5:2. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, you see, or that thou hast heard long time ago. So it's going to get more and more intense. These wicked things that's going to happen, starting with his sorcery and miracles. And here's the point, right? I wanted to bring in because you did hinted on it, what the Lord's going to do. And it says, and the land that thou seest now to have root shall thou seest wasted suddenly. Wasted suddenly. So it's prophetic in regards to the destruction of what's coming to America, right? By way of the nukes. That's all I'm going to read on Ezra's there.
Yeah, ultimately, that's what's going to lead to all these events that we see. Ultimately, going to lead to the total destruction of Babylon the Great, which is AKA America. But before all that, this man will, again, as it says in verse 1, nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in great number, right? And again, they're going to be taken by, ultimately, before they're taken by the destruction. There's a huge scratching sound. Brothers, hear that?
Yeah, it just came up. It popped up. Let me move my phone from the PC. Can you hear it now?
Yeah, it's still scratching.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, anyways, we'll deal with it.
Yeah, we'll deal with it.
It says, but these are the signs, the time will come when all people on the earth will be in the grips of great confusion. Exactly.
That's
right. This is in the GNT.
beautiful.
And these confusions are caused by the psyops, right? And the deceptiveness, right, of the top wicked elite through their technology, right?
That's
Which
right.
is a gift that's been given to them.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom. Somebody's saying that we should turn our background off. Maybe that'll help the sound. Let's see. Edit mic settings.
Let me mute myself.
Check. That's clear on my end. I can hear it. No, it's gone. The scratch is gone.
I think if you guys oh, okay. Okay, sure. When you have something to say, just unmute yourself and let us know. Hopefully this sounds better. But anyways, like I was saying here, reading again in 2 Ezra 5:1 in the GNT, but all these but these are the signs. The time will come when all people on the earth will be in the grips of great confusion, right? The way of truth will be hidden, and no faith will be left in the land. And this is why you got to get the truth, right? You got to seek the Lord while he may be found. Okay,
that's right.
You get it while there's still time for grace, because once those doors of grace are shut, and the Lord allows this devil to basically let loose on his sorceries and on the sword, you're gonna is going to be mass confusion, as it says. People are going to be taken in the in a grip of great confusion.
Mhm.
Okay, so if the Holy Spirit's not dealing with you, you're going to get got. Simply put. All
That's
right.
right.
Now let's go to here, and then we got to get into this clip because, like I said, there's a lot for us to get through.
Mhm.
Let's go to Matthew 24, because you might have heard of Project Bluebeam, or also known as Project Skybeam,
Mhm.
and that's very much of an agenda and a tactic that is known, okay, to be used by the top wicked elite, and going to be used. They plan to use that as a way of basically beguiling the world into unifying with one another under, a new world order, NWO. Whether they fake and they can fake many things. They can fake the second coming of Yahweh Shai. They
Mhm.
can fake an alien invasion. They can fake a asteroid or
Mhm.
meteorite hitting the Earth. Okay, so there's a lot of things he can do with his technology. But let's get this here, Matthew 24, and let me get this in the NLT. And actually, I haven't heard this one in NLT first. Matthew 24 and 12. Let's start at Matthew 24 and I'm going to start at 21, NLT. Okay, so it says here, for there will be greater anguish than at any time since the world began, and it will never be so great again. In fact, unless the time of calamity is shortened, not a single person will survive, but it will be shortened for the sake of Yahweh's chosen ones, right? The elect.
Mhm. That's right.
Verse 23, it says, then if anyone tells you, look, here is the Messiah, or there he is, don't believe it.
Yeah.
For false messiahs and false prophets will rise up and perform great signs, okay, and
Mhm.
wonders, so as to deceive, if possible, even Yahweh's chosen ones. And you got to think about that, living in present time today, and look at look at the technology that's out in terms of holograms. Okay,
Mhm.
what drones can do, those light shows that you see in Beijing and Egypt and all these different places, which we're going to get into all that and show you examples. These are all miracles of the beast, right? And he's
Beautiful.
able to perform these miracles through his technology. Okay,
That's right. That's right.
so again, they can okay, what's it called? Create a false invasion, a false
Absolutely.
second coming. This is why this is written in the
Exactly.
scriptures.
Beautiful.
Again, it says, verse 23, then if anyone tells you, look, here is the Messiah, or there he is, don't believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will rise up to and perform great signs and wonders, so as to deceive, if possible, even Yahweh's chosen ones. So you got to think of how great the deception is going to be, because
That's
the
right.
chosen ones of the Heavenly Father have the truth.
That's right.
That's how great the deception is going to be. Again,
Mhm.
look at these light shows that they do in these various countries,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
this is just what they show us. Remember, what Esau shows us isn't compared to what he has, all
planned.
right, hidden or planned.
It's
Mhm.
So
true.
it says, verse 25, see, I have warned you about this ahead of time.
Mhm.
So if anyone tells you, look, the Messiah is out in the desert,
That's
don't
right.
bother to go and look. Or
Mhm.
look,
Right.
he is
Mhm.
hiding here. Don't believe it.
That's
That's
right.
right. That's right.
For as the lightning flashes in the east and shines in the west, so it will be when the Son of Man comes.
That's
Okay.
right.
Mhm.
Quick.
Yeah, man. Quick. So,
Mhm.
Straight. Straight.
all right. So let's
There's a
get into
precept. There's a precept to that in Luke 21 verse 8. If Babakar, if you could get it too, it's same. But it'd be
Yeah.
nice to
Fearful
bring it out with it.
sights. Fearful sights
The
in
same.
the heavens. Yeah. Yeah.
here.
Tokens. More
I
tokens.
can bring it out. I can find it and get it.
Confusion. Yeah, bring it. Yeah, I looked up. While you're looking for that, real quick. I looked up the word token, and of course, what young brother just mentioned there broke down in simple essence when he read it and went into it. It's going into the confusion, the confusion that the masses will receive,
That's right.
right? But it's evidence to
What,
us.
what the word token?
Yeah, the word token means evidence, right? And
Yeah.
symbol.
So yeah. Yep.
So to,
Exactly. The
so to them,
prophecies.
that's why I was chuckling, right? To them, they're going to be bugged
Mhm.
out by these deceptions, but it's
Yeah.
evidence to us, right? Because the
Yep.
clue to us is that there will be no what, no faith, no
Mhm.
faith in what is coming from Esau for us. It has nothing to do with us. It's to
Mhm.
deceive you people. So simply
That's right.
put, it's evidence for us to show us where we are, right? The Lord is showing us that. That's why brother went to Matthew 24 to just clarify it, simply put. So yes, token just means evidence. So yes, confusion to them, uh, a revelation to us.
Yeah. It's just the prophecies, right?
Period.
Like you already
That's
said, it's
right.
the evidence
Yeah,
of
yeah.
prophecies, right? Straightforward.
Hmm.
So
Can
let's
I?
That's it.
go. You got a precept?
Yeah, yeah, let me bring this out quick because we're going into the
Yeah.
prophet. So I got
Go ahead.
this quick. It's in GNT, and it's the book of Second Ezra 9, verse 9. And it reads, He answered, Consider all these things very carefully. It's one thing that you have to do. You have to be careful on the last days because we're getting closer to the end of this place. When you
Mhm.
see that some of the signs that have
And Slakia. And you gotta consider this man's works, the devil. You gotta consider everything he's doing,
Come.
right? You have to see we're living in a time of mass confusion. And what we're trying to tell you is that you have to center all the world events. You have to center it around prophecy, because that's how you're gonna be led through.
That's right.
All right, the spirit of prophecy.
That's
Go
right.
ahead.
when you see that some of the signs that I have told you about have appeared, and when
You
you go
see?
into this, could be the apostles, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, they got the vision, but they wouldn't be able to break it down how the apostles are breaking it down right now, right?
Simply put.
Mhm.
In the first two, you will know that the time has come when the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, will bring judgment on the world He has created.
Mhm.
Exactly. So that's the point. Like I was saying earlier, when you look at the events that are happening in the earth, man, listen, you don't need the Bible to understand that the earth is in a very delicate or fragile and turmoil and in a state of turmoil. Okay, it's very fragile in a state of turmoil. You
Mhm.
don't need the Bible to understand it. Everybody can feel it. So the prophets are set up to center all this events on the earth around the prophecies in the Bible. And like the scripture says here, you will know that the time has come when Yahweh, the Most High, right, the world ignorant know as God, will begin to judge the world. So we
Yeah.
know that the return of Yahweh Shai will be centered around this devil, all right, deceiving the earth
Mhm.
greatly, right? And the earth would be in a great state of confusion. That's the best that's the best place or the best settings for deception is confusion. And that's what's happening. You're seeing a mass amount of confusion being orchestrated on the earth. And
Mhm.
what this devil is getting ready to do with that confusion is deceive the people through his
That's right.
technologies. And
Mhm.
these would be signs and tokens to those that are of the hopeful elect to know that we're at the end. We're at the end of this man's kingdom. And we're
That's
at the
right.
and the return of Yahweh Shai is right around the corner.
That's right.
Mhm.
Suddenly.
Beautiful. So let's get this clip here. I got it now. And this is from a call for uprising, right? Fair use, fair use, fair use. None of the channels on this panel are using this video to make any money or for any monetization reasons. We are just showing this video for edification purposes only. So fair use, fair use, fair use. And this is not any, we're not giving any medical information. So you see here, it says Black Swan event, Comet 3i Atlas could be alien mothership for Project Bluebeam and AD and a do event. Okay, and a do event, which the do is an acronym for direct energy weapon. Okay, so we're getting into all that as well. So we'll go ahead and play this clip. And then let me know if you guys can hear this. Hopefully this don't echo. You hear it?
No. You play?
Not yet.
No?
Press play. No.
Interesting.
Okay, let's see. Let's try it now.
Call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. A potential
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, Cardi.
black swan or Trojan horse event. That's what they're calling this supposed comet that is supposed to be passing the sun as we speak. And there's a lot of conditioning going on for people to be prepared in December for a potential black swan event. They're calling this comet, if you haven't heard, this is how obvious and in our faces all of this stuff is, 3-eye Atlas, as in third eye Atlas, you know, the third eye that they're obsessed with, that eyeball that they're obsessed with. And of course, they use the letter number 3 and the letter I. And it just so happens to be 33 billion tons. Now, how you measure a comet that's supposedly millions of miles away, I don't know if they have a scale that they're levitating out in space, but we all know that they can't actually get into space. So it's just make believe. And what we have to do when we see these stories is look at what are they planning? What are they conspiring to do? Because there's a lot of things on the table here. There's tons of predictive programming, of course, with comets striking the Earth, which I'll get into. And as we all know, they're waiting to unleash Project Bluebeam, and they're hinting that this isn't really a comet because it grew a tail, that this could potentially be the mothership. And of course, Fox News is feeding into its audience that finally the alien technology is going to be revealed. The government won't be able to hide that aliens exist anymore. And of course, this is how the alt-right media believes these types of stories. They believe a little bit of truth, and then things like aliens, they think the government's been hiding from them, when in fact we all know aliens do not actually exist from outer space. We know that extraterrestrials are really code word for demonic entities. So we're going to get into all of this stuff now, but you can't make it up, folks. 3-eye, 33 billion tons heading towards the Earth. So the story.
And that's true. Real quick, we can get these two precepts. He's right about because that's what this devil has done. Right? He's deceived the world in thinking and believing into aliens, right? Little green men, all right, from Mars. But we Baba Kasham Allah, get the word alien in etymology. And I'm gonna get this precept here in Job 9:24. All he's done is this. So this is Job 9:24 in the GNT, or sorry, in the NLT. It says the whole earth is in the hand of the wicked, and Yahweh blinds the eyes of the judges. If he's not the one who does it, who is it? Ah, not too bad, but this is King James better. Let's get this in King James. So King James, Job 9:24, it says here, the earth, all right, is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, right? And outside of the nation of Israel and the Most High, right, and Yahweh Shai, the top wicked elite, Esau, Edom, have also covered the faces of the angels, right? And now when you go to that word cover, it also means to conceal, right? So they've concealed the truth of who the angels are, what the Most High looks like, what his son looks like, who the true people of the Most High are, okay? As you see the word here in the Hebrew is Basaha. Okay, let me make sure this is correct. No, sorry, it's Kasaha. Kasaha. All right. And again, the word means to conceal. It says to conceal, it says to hide. Okay. So they've hidden the truth. So going back again, it says, oh, what's going on here? Not this again. Job 9:24. It says, computer's kind of bugging out, so bear with me. It says, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covereth, right? So concealeth the faces of the judges thereof. He's fooled the world in thinking that the angels are little green men from Mars. If not, where and who is it? And who is he? Right? That's what this guy was bringing out in the video. Okay. Real quick, let's go to Amos. And you got that word?
Yep. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead, bring it out right now.
Right. So as a noun, right? Alien. I'm going to just go to the meat of it. It says the meaning residing. Right. This is as a noun. Salakia. As a noun, it says foreigner, citizen of foreign land. Right. And then it jumps down on this page. Or from noun use of the adjective and Latin in the science fiction sense, being from another planet. From
Exactly.
1953.
Exactly, a being from another planet, right? A being from another planet. So those beings from other planets is really beings from other dimensions, which are angels. Okay.
Right.
This is Amos 9:8. It says, behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom, right? The eyes are the angels. So that's really what's out there. Okay. And this devil is trying to pervert the narrative and control the narrative and really sell the world on little green men from Mars, right? The Hollywood fiction movie. Or it says here, Amos 9:8, behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. And these devils know that. They know that Yahweh Shai is coming, and the Most High is looking to destroy America. Okay? Saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord Yahweh. Right? And that's the remnant.
Right.
Story is that it just passed the sun on October 29th and made a close approach to Mars as of October 3rd. Scientists observed the comet.
And you can hear it. It's all good?
Yeah.
Showing unusual activity. But of course, conveniently, while this is all occurring, and we're supposed to be waiting for this thing to come around winter solstice, so we have it arriving for Samhain, for Halloween, and then passing or potentially hitting the Earth right around Saturnalia, NASA just so happens to be shut down, so we're not getting actual information. How perfect.
And remember, around this time, right, it's believed, right, by these devils that the veil, okay, is thin. It's this thinness between the portal is its thinness between the spiritual realm, the fourth dimension, and the third dimension, the spiritual realm and the physical world. They believe around this time, this is where that portal is the thinnest. So this is where they get into doing a lot of their witchcraft, right, and their divinations and sorceries. So this would be the perfect time for a Black Swan event. Okay, as he mentioned, we just finished Samhain, which is what people know as Halloween, and we're coming around Saturnalia, which is also known as Christmas. Okay, these are heavy witchcraft seasons.
Perfect for the narrative of keeping things hidden from us. As if we're supposed to believe NASA's actually shut down. So what? The government just shut down its massive child trafficking and drug trafficking operation known as NASA? We're supposed to believe it because we're still paying taxes, so we're still obviously funding NASA. And there's concerns now growing, even though nobody from NASA can give interviews. This is the psyop they're putting out there. Nobody from the government can talk about this comet because the government shut down. So we're all supposed to be left wondering. And then they give us these extraterrestrial scientists that keep popping up on shows like Joe Rogan and Fox News, as you'll hear in a few minutes. And all we get is news that NASA is activating planetary defense protocol, even though they're shut down, and won't give out interviews with anyone. And even Elon Musk has chimed in, saying that this is not a typical comet. So Elon Musk is chiming into the entire thing as well, feeding into the alt-right media that 3i Atlas is definitely not ordinary. If it were just a comet, a high-resolution image would have already been released, he said in a statement. And how many movies have we seen over the years preparing us for a...
Right, and they use these guys, all right, these technocrats and scientists to further, galvanize the minds of these people, into believing the narrative, right? So this is why they use rich people. This is we're gonna go to Sirach. Oh wait, this is gonna be definitely a pain in the ass. All right, so this is Sirach. I'm gonna get this in the GNT, chapter 13, and I'm gonna read verse 23. It reads, and then Baba Kasha Banyamin, can you get for me Psalms 93, 73?
Yeah,
Psalm
yeah.
73 and 9. And then get that in NLT. So in the meantime, this is Sirach 13 and 23. It says, when a rich person speaks, everyone is silent, and they praise him to the skies for what he says, right? So all these people that are rich, that are in a certain position in Esau's kingdom, right? They're all paid and bought for, right? And they work to bring about the agenda of the top wicked elite. Okay, that's why you have people like Elon Musk speaking on this three-eyed atlas. Is definitely not normal. So speaking, giving life into the narrative of a alien invasion. Anyhow, so read it again. It says, when a rich person speaks, everyone is silent, and they praise him to the skies for what he says. But let a poor person speak, and everybody says, who is that? This is the prophets, right? That's how they liken the prophets. Because everything you see coming out now, our apostles and elders, right? The elders apostles, all right, have been talking about these things for decades, man. Project Blue Beam, the effects of technology on the minds of the people, using different signs and symbols, right, to wage war in the mind, all this stuff, all of it, the Illuminati, all of it. They've been bringing this out for a time, but guess what? The Lord, the prophets of the Lord are disregarded in this kingdom, right? But it's all set up that way on purpose through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. As he said, he chose the foolishness of preaching. This is looked at as foolishness. So it says, but let the poor man speak, and everybody says, who is that? They push him down if he so much as stumbles. And that's the point. Go ahead, buddy.
I got a precept there.
Yeah.
This is Psalms 73, verse 9 in the NLT. They boast against the very heavens, and their words shook throughout the earth.
Yep. That's right. And this is him boasting against the heavens. How is he boasting against the heavens? He's rearranged the order of the heavens. He's told you and made the whole world believe that the Most High is translucent. His son is translucent. And the angels are butt naked babies flying around. Or the little green men. Right? So he's boasting by recreating or perverting the order and the natural order that the Most High has set up. He's boasting against the order of the Most High and against the heavens.
I got a precept.
Finish up that one though.
Okay, that's so verse 10. And so the people are dismayed and confused, drinking in all their words. What does Yahweh Shai know? They ask, does the Most High even know what's happening?
Right. And the point is verse 10. Hold on. It's just 9 to 10. The point is in verse 10, right? Where it says, therefore, you have it in NLT, right? So it says, and so the people are dismayed and confused, drinking in all their words. And that's what that's set up, right? All these scientists, right, and astrologers are all set up so you can, so people can be drunk off the wine of Babylon, basically.
Mhm.
All right,
Intoxicated.
intoxicated. Yep. Go ahead, Benjamin. Then we got to get back to this.
Okay. I just had two. This is
What?
Ezra's chapter 7, and I was gonna start at 41. No, 43.
Came back and back.
Oh,
Get up. Get up. Bug came back.
okay, go ahead, Benjamin.
Check.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It says, verse 43 says, but the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, where incorruption is past, intemperance is at the end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, and the truth is sprung up. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that has gotten victory.
Mhm.
So that's the time we're living in.
Fine.
Right.
We've seen over the years preparing us for a potential comet event, which again would not be an actual comet striking the Earth, which I'll get into in a few minutes with directed energy weapons, which they can easily simulate a comet striking the Earth by hitting us with a directed energy weapon. We have satellites sitting up in the sky, and we have what? We have these airplanes that could go so high up and just shoot laser beams from miles and miles away, which they can convince you is either an alien ship doing it or a comet actually doing it. We've had movies like Deep Impact, Armageddon, right? Night of the Comet, which is a good one over the years. I mean, Asteroid, Don't Look Up, Meteor, Asteroid versus Earth, even children.
These are all movies that have been used as predictive programming, right? To put it within our subconscious that these are the things that can happen, so that when they bring about whatever the Lord puts in their mind to bring about, all right, the people are already primed and ready to accept and swallow down that wine, right? Like we read in Psalm 73, right? Psalm 73 and 9. In verse 10, it says, and the people, again, verse 9, it says, they boast against the very heavens, and their words strut throughout the earth, right?
Yeah.
And so the people are dismayed and confused, drinking in all their words. How do you drink in this man's words? Well, he uses predictive programming. Okay. You drink his words through your mind. That's why you see all these movies. Greenland, Seeking Friends for the End, right? Asteroid, Knowing, The Day the Sky Exploded. These are all different movies that predictively programmed whatever it is that they want to bring it about, that the Most High will put in their mind to bring about.
No. All documentary. Psyop.
Yeah.
Being programmed into believing a comet will strike with movies like Ice Age, Collision Course. So the predictive programming is obviously there. But let me play for you Avi Loeb, who is a Harvard astrophysicist who is making the rounds. He's the only one really out there giving interviews. And he's showing up on NBC, on ABC, on Joe Rogan, because they're obviously preparing people for some type of event to occur in the month of December. The question just is, what are they conspiring for? But here they are giving you a little bit of information about the mystery behind this comet.
This comet's really cool because it does have that tail from the sun's radiation blasting it, but it also has a forward-facing tail.
If the sun is here and the comet is here, the sun sends the solar wind to the comet, the tail goes behind the comet. Guess what? This comet hits at the reverse side.
But is it nature or something else? We're going to find out soon.
Okay, so it's going to be a few weeks before 3i Atlas comes back into view. Right now, it is hidden behind the sun, and even during its closest approach, Earth-based telescopes are not going to be able to see it. What's worse, the images that NASA captured right before all this, well, we haven't seen those because of possibly the government shutdown, but our next guest has done more math, more calculating on every aspect of 3i Atlas than anyone I know. He is...
And best believe this is all, I believe rather, okay, this is all bullshit, because I know there's some information that came out on images on the three-eyed Atlas, if I'm not mistaken, of... It was a man with a fro, right? So who knows? Is either this is completely staged from Esau Edom, or it's something real, right? And he's just trying to hijack the narrative before he gets exposed. He's one or the other.
That's right. That's right.
I believe it's complete bullshit in a sense, where he's using this as or he might use it as a way to, bring about a black swan event of the sort, because something is getting ready to happen. You can feel it. All right, you can feel it. But he only knows so much. That's what I'm going to say. He only knows so much as to what's going on. All right, out there in space. There's a thing called the Van Allen belt, and you can go look that up for yourself. The Van Allen belt is basically a belt full of asteroids where they can't pass. They can't exceed those bounds. So a lot of things that they said they've done, right, like the moon and other stuff, the planets, they haven't been to Mars. They haven't been to the moon. Okay. But this is again going back to the serpent, and he has two major weapons: the tongue and the sword.
So writing right now that if the 3i Atlas is alien tech, this will be the make or break moment. The one and only Avi Loeb joins us now. He's head of the Galileo Project, founding director of Harvard's Black Hole Initiative. Professor, welcome back. So starting with these new images, what's going on with the tail? Is this now just a normal comet off-gassing, or as at least one of your colleagues has suggested, is this thrust from some sort of alien tech that's like maybe stepping on the brakes a little bit? What do you think?
Well, thanks for having me. We don't know the answer to that, and we better observe it.
All right, so let's skip ahead. Let's get a precept. Because they're going to go into, he's going to go into, these are Esau's, those are the modern day prognosticators and astrologers, right? But this is and they're set up to bring about Esau's pseudoscience. This is Isaiah chapter 5. Isaiah chapter 5 verse 20. Get this in NLT and read down to 21. It says here, What sorrow for those who say that evil is good and good is evil, right? And they've been able to do that, right? Through the means of technology. They've been able to pervert righteousness and do exactly this, right? Make that which is evil good and that which is good evil. And it says that dark is light and light is dark. That bitter is sweet and sweet is bitter. And this is also, they've been able to do this also through predictive programming, right? They've been able to change the narrative of what's what through their televisions, through their media, music, entertainment. Verse 21, what sorrow for those who are wise in their own eyes and think themselves so clever, okay? Of course, 2/3 of our people are on that list, but Esau even taught wicked elites. Okay. Let's go from here. I'll bring out Micah 2:1. Everybody's gonna got anything.
This is not a rest.
So okay, so this is Micah 2:1. This is Micah 2:1 NLT as well. It says, what sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night, thinking up evil plans, right? Project Bluebeam, that's an evil plan, right? It's a plan of mass global deception, right? To unify everybody into ultimately taking, the MOTB as well. There's going to be many things that will galvanize people to take the MOTB, right? There's going to be famine. There's going to be bloodshed, but there's also going to be, these black swan events, these psyops. Okay, so it says, thinking up evil plans. Woe, what sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night, thinking up evil plans? You rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out, simply because you have the power to do so, right? And that's been given to them by Yahweh Shem Shai, who most high to do so, to play their part in this movie.
I would just go to Psalm 6 real quick. Psalm 64, just to preface it again, because we're in that time of deceptions, and they're going to get greater and greater. So Psalm 64:1, 3 verses on that.
Yeah,
right,
go ahead.
Right? It says, "Hear my voice." Right. So this is the elect prayer to our power. Yahweh Shem Shai. Says, hear my voice, oh my power in my prayer. Prayer preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. So this is going to get worse, right? And here's the point I want to bring out. Verse 3. Who wet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot the arrows. Even bitter words. Yeah. So there are unrighteous decrees in Psalms. In Isaiah tells us, right? The prophet Isaiah, that it's a mean tool, right? These psychological operations. And these documentaries that they put forth.
Yeah. Those bitter words, it's going to get into that demonization aspect, which we're getting ready to experience that real soon. Right? Being demonized, right, on a global scale. Okay, that's going to be the real proving grounds as to who truly has faith in Yahweh Bashim Shai.
That's right.
Skip ahead here, and we'll play a little bit more. Skip ahead here.
If we saw a laser beam or a city.
Oh, is that your pre? You want us to read that? Khan.
Yeah.
This is Khan. GMS Shar. All right. Sins have reached unto heaven. Sirach, or Ecclesiastes, rather. Sorry. Ecclesiastes 9 and 12. For man also knoweth not his time, as the first that are taken in an evil net. Khan. And as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time. Beautiful precept. Yep, that's on point.
Yeah.
That those snares and traps. Okay, going into that Project Bluebeam that we're getting into right now. This man's technology, the psyops. These people have no idea, man. They're getting set up, right, to fall into a deep net.
That's right.
Which they will never return from. Only the hopeful elect are going to be able to make it out of this man's snares and traps. All right, so let's continue on here.
And over and over again. But if some event actually occurred, if we saw a laser beam or a city suddenly catch fire, and they did a countdown and they told us that it was a comet coming, believe this, it is 100% likely that any type of strike on a city that they would tell you is a comet is actually a directed energy weapon. Everybody should have learned from Lahaina how the government operates, how they could set these cities on fire in an instant. We saw how that smart meter operation ran in California last year. But for anyone out there that doesn't know, this is technology your government has. They don't have this technology to use against China or to use against Russia. This is so that they could simulate events against us.
Here, secreted away in a hangar, is a revolutionary aircraft. The Air Combat Command's USAF YAL 747. It's not the speed or how high it can fly that makes it so special. It's the cargo. The world's first airborne directed energy weapon, the airborne laser, also known as the ABL. Just mounting the ABL requires one of the most sophisticated and elaborate modifications in history. The entire nose section is removed and retrofitted, and the world's largest titanium plate is installed to hold the enormous turret-mounted laser in place. The ABL system is designed to find, track, and destroy an enemy target in the air and on the ground. It can loiter at 40,000 feet for 5 hours, refuel in midair, and destroy a target 60 miles away in less than a second.
You have only a microsecond to respond, and that's not enough time for any system to respond. So the laser is almost instantaneous. Aircraft don't fight each other at close range by dogfights anymore. That's because they fly with missiles, and the missiles today have a range of like 20 kilometers plus. So if you detect a not friendly aircraft that you wish to attack, you'll do so by radar, and you'll attack that when it's still well outside what I would call the range of old-fashioned cannons on aircraft. So we don't see dogfights close in now. What we see is missiles that are launched and go a distance. The laser itself has a speed of Mach 300,000, so it's 300,000 times faster than if I launch a missile from an aircraft. So in the future, it will not be aircraft in a dogfight. It will be aircraft at a distance being brought down by laser beams.
The airborne laser project was launched in 1996 at a cost of over $1.5 billion. The weapon is projected to be combat ready by 2015. There's also the fear that it could trigger a super.
So this is decades ago.
This
is decades ago, man. So you can imagine what they have right now. Okay.
For high-tech arms race.
So you could easily see how they could use fighter jets in the night where nobody would really see them. They could be high up. They could use a fighter jet and tell you that it's actually a spaceship using what? Things like Project Bluebeam, which we'll get into now. But don't forget the other narrative here that they can use if there is some type of directed energy.
Right. So let's get this quick preset. That's how, you can't say that technology for this devil isn't a major tool of witchcraft and sorceries for him. Look what he's able to do. This is Revelation 13 and 13, okay? In the King James, it says, and he doeth the great wonders, right? So that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Now, originally we used this to explain the atomic bomb, the atom bomb, okay, which is true. But now in 2025, really as of 2020, all right, Esau has been making his DEW weapons a lot more public, all right, to everybody. We know he's had this technology for years before he's bringing it out to the public, but you've been seeing a lot of information on DEW, right? The term DEW, direct energy weapons. Okay, so that's another form of him being able to, as it says here, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Right? He doeth great wonders. These are wonders, man. Okay? It says, and deceiveth them that dwelleth on the earth by the means of those miracles. Right? And those DEW weapons, they're not just good for destruction, but they're also good for deception. As we're going to get into it in Project Skybeam or Bluebeam, how they're able to use these DEW weapons to create illusions in the sky. Okay, so it says, verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwelleth on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, right? NATO and the EU, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. So again, this 3-eye atlas scenario could very well be used, all right, to bring about the NWO. Right, as it says that they should make an image to the beast, and that image, as we know, is the New World Order, which had the wound by sword and did live, really going into the Roman Empire. Right, the ancient Roman Empire is revived in America, and they're taking it to the next level by making it a technological Roman Empire, or a technological Tower of Babel, if you will, because America is all these empires amalgamated into one, coming back in the spirit. So let's continue on here.
I have this quote.
Okay, go ahead.
If I may read it, right? It's famous all over the internet because that presenter mentioned some regards to what the government is doing. But I'm only going to read the quote. Fair use. I'm not saying this is what's happening, but this individual here, Joseph Stalin, right? This was a famous quote, and all over the internet, you can Wikipedia. So I'm going to read it.
Go ahead and read it.
It says Joseph Stalin is quoted as saying, the easiest way to gain control of a population is to carry out tax terror. The public will clamor for such laws if their personal security is threatened. Quote Joseph Stalin. So anyway, I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah,
you can look it up for yourself. Right.
Yep.
That's it. I'm not going to say anything.
Type of directed energy weapon attack that they tell you is a comet. They can use it as a bioweapon. So they can say it's a biotoxin that came from an actual comet, that the microorganisms actually could have deposited viruses on Earth. So they could hit us with multiple things at once. They could strike with a directed energy weapon, tell you that it's a comet, and then suddenly tell you that people are getting sick from the comet, from the explosion. There's microorganisms in it. People need to lock down and quarantine. We need an immediate vaccine. There's lots of things that they can play into all this. And it seems like that's exactly what they're going to do, because they're conditioning people with this comet now. It's been going on for months. Now it's starting to get bigger as we've gotten to October 29th into October 30th into Halloween, where they're telling you it just passed the sun. Next stop, Earth, right? So Comet 3I Atlas, alien spaceship hypotheses to be tested once and for all, because a lot of these guys are showing up on the news, on Joe Rogan, telling us that because NASA is closed conveniently, because we don't have good enough eyes on what's happening, that this could potentially be an actual mothership. And they're giving you these hints that the government's hiding something from you. They love to do this. This is manufacturing, right? Oh, they're hiding something. Of course, the government's hiding a lot of things from the people. How they're a bunch of psychopaths who commit mass genocide on a daily basis. How they create bioweapon viruses. How they literally are involved in satanic rituals, and the drinking of red liquid is really what they live for, right? So there's a lot of things that the government's hiding from you. But when they tell you that, ooh, the government's been hiding this information from you about aliens, well, realize this. You're likely being baited. But here's the professor on Fox News as they start to tease the alien potential invasion that's coming.
Big news for stargazers. A comet making its way through our solar system, apparently growing a tail. So what does that mean, huh? My next guest says there's a 40% chance that it is alien technology. Harvard professor Avi Loeb is with me now. Sir, good morning to you. Listen, when you say alien technology, people want to know, what are you talking about? So to you, professor, what are you talking about?
It's a blind date of interstellar proportions. We don't know what we are talking about because script writers from Hollywood are not as imaginative as the universe, and we just need to observe. That's my advice on any blind date. Observe the other side before you have an opinion. In this case, the object is anomalous because it comes in the plane of the planets around the sun, within 5 degrees, and the chance of that happening at random is 1 in 500. Moreover, it's very large. It's comparable to the size of Manhattan Island, at least a million times more massive than the first interstellar object that we discovered about 8 years ago.
This is all according to Esau, right? This is all according to Esau. Let's real quick get this reset, because this man is full of lies, right?
Of course.
This man full of lies. Let's get this here. Isaiah 19, the princes of Zoan, right? Isaiah 19 and this kingdom. Yeah, this is I'm gonna get this in NLT actually. So this is Isaiah 19 and 11. It says, maybe I'll read, what does 10 say? Okay, no. 11. It says, what fools are the officials of Zoan? Their best counsels to the king of Egypt is stupid and wrong. They will still boast to Pharaoh of their wisdom. Will they dare brag about their wisdom, about their wise ancestors? Where are your wise counselors, Pharaoh? Let them tell you what Yahweh plans, what the Lord of heaven's armies is going to do to Egypt. The officials of Zoan are fools, and the officials of Memphis are deluded, right? In fact, Memphis was a hub for witchcraft in Egypt. A lot of these capital. A lot of these wicked elites. This is where they go, all right, to do a lot of wicked rituals, right? To conjure up demons. Are deluded. The leaders of the people have led Egypt astray. So you have, as it says, the Lord has sent a spirit of foolishness on them. All their suggestions are wrong. They cause Egypt to stagger like a drunk in his vomit. And a lot of people right now are going to find themselves being caught in this man's next Black Swan event, and they're going to be drunk, right? And through that event, they're going to find themselves staggering when the real thing happens. You see, what are these devils going to do when the real thing happens, when the real invasion transpires, which is going to be Yahushua and the host of heaven? This is why the Lord says all the princes of Zoan are fools. I mean, let the officials of Zoan, right? Let them guide you out of the real thing, because there's nothing that anybody or anything can do to stop Yahushua, all right, from taking down this man's kingdom when he comes. But till then, they will create and lie, all right, and deceive people with a narrative to beguile them that are all set up to be beguiled.
That's right.
Continue a little bit more here.
And so the question is, why haven't we seen a million small objects before we see such a giant one? And it also behaved in unusual ways. There was a glow during July and August, a glow. Turning towards the sun, and only in September it started developing a tail away from the sun the way comets do. And it has also arrived from the direction of the WOW signal from 1977, a radio signal that we couldn't figure out that was definitely extragalactic. So it has a lot of anomalies, about 8 of them that I listed, each of them with a small probability. And my point is that although it may well be a comet and of natural origin, it could also be something like a Trojan horse, a black swan event where we say it's very unlikely for a spaceship to arrive at our backyard, but nevertheless, we should keep that as a possibility because the implications would be huge.
Okay, I need a podcast to get through everything you just said there.
Okay. All right. So, hey, you heard it from from Esau's mouth, right? There could be potential, and then you have to listen to these devils because they'll tell you, right? They have a thing called you can look it up for yourself, revelation of the method, right? Where they reveal their methods through, the media, right? Through their prognosticators and their specialists. They'll say certain things. You got to listen to them. Like how many times has Bill Gates, all right, said that, for the world that they want to build, humans are going to be not needed for a lot of things. How many times has he said that? How many times has he said he wants to reduce the population? How many times has he said that? So they reveal to you what they're going to do, but people are too drunk off this man's wine for them to actually clue in on what he's saying, which is okay, because this truth is only for the elect at the end of the day. So this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8. It says, then the man of lawlessness will be revealed, but the Lord Yahweh, or the Lord Yahushua, will kill him with the breath of his mouth and destroy him by the splendor of his coming. Right? So before Yahushua comes to completely judge this man, right, there's an inquisition being made of this devil and his works by the prophets, right? So that's the breath of his mouth. But then it's going to lead to that destruction by the so-called UFOs, the chariots of the Most High, using their laser beams, right? By the splendor of his coming. This man will come to do the work of Satan, right? And what's the work of Satan? To deceive, okay? And to be adverse to what the Most High set up, to be adverse to Yahushua, the right-hand side. This man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles, you see? And that counterfeit power is his technology, okay? It's through his technology that he's going to be able to make the blind see, the deaf hear, the lame walk, right? It's through his counterfeit technology, or his counterfeit power, which is his technology, he's going to be able to stage a alien invasion, so-called alien invasion, or a asteroid hitting the Earth. That's counterfeit power. So it says, right, signs and miracles. Verse 10, he will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction. You see? So only those that are not the hopeful elect are going to be completely deceived by this and beguiled by this man's deception, all right? The sorcery. Because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. So Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, will cause them to be greatly deceived. And they will believe these lies. Then they will be condemned for enjoying evil, right? Because all these lies are all set up to herd the world and the people in it into taking the MOTB. Okay, and once they take the MOTB, they're going to be enjoying evil, because that's what that is. The MOTB is evil, but you're enjoying it because it comes with counterfeit powers. You're going to be able to do all these different kind of things, right? So it says, then they will be condemned for enjoying evil rather than believing the truth. You see?
Straight.
So let's continue here. Okay, the last little bit of this. We'll start from here, and then we'll go into it. Unless brothers, and then if brothers got precept, let me know.
All right, that's my sister's birthday, 33 billion tons of it.
And of course, again, any type of alien invasion, for anyone out there that doesn't know, the origins of a gray alien, the origins of an alien. People weren't talking about aliens in the 1700s and the 1800s. This just became a thing when the television came out, when they started talking about Roswell and these things, right? Aleister Crowley wrote about Lam. Today, they call them angels and demons. Tomorrow, they will call them something else, which is aliens. The depiction of Lam, the channeled spirit that Aleister Crowley summoned, is the exact image of what we look at as a gray alien. So I'm not saying anybody out there that believes in aliens that you're crazy, that you're wrong. There's just a difference between spiritual warfare and then what they want you to believe, because they never want people to believe in spiritual war and spiritual warfare that actually exists with demons and entities. They want you to believe, well, yeah, the Bible always mentions some of those types of things, but we're not going to go into detail about exorcisms. We're not going to go into detail about demonic possession, right? But we'll tell you about is, there's some aliens that have been flying around in space because they want you to believe that they can go to Mars and they can go to the moon when they can't go to any of these places, and they never have. So the other thing we need to look at is obviously Project.
Yeah, exactly. It's true. Real quick, right? Because that's the truth. The truth is there, everything is spiritual. There's a spiritual realm, and there's angels, there's demons, rather spirits on the left hand side, and spirits on the right hand side. Okay, but Esau has everybody living in la la land, right? While in mysticism,
Mysticism,
yeah.
Drunkard.
While he's setting up the infrastructure of the NWO. And Drake is bullshitting. Anyways, this is Jeremiah 9:5 at NLT. It says they all, and this is pertaining to Israel, to Jake, but you can use this spiritually to pertain to Esau and what he's doing, because he's doing the exact same thing. They all fool and defraud each other. No one tells the truth. With practiced tongues, they tell lies. They wear themselves out with all their sinning. Here's the point. They pile up lie upon lie and utterly refuse to acknowledge me, says the Lord Yahweh. And this is why he boasts, we read earlier, that he boasts against the heaven, right? And Job 9:24, where they covereth, also meaning conceal or hide, the faces of the judges thereof, the judges of the heavens. Okay, this man boasts against the Most High. Okay, it says, therefore, this is what the Lord Yahweh of Heaven's army says: I will melt them down in a crucible and test them like metal. What else can I do with my people? And Jake is going to get caught up. Okay, because he's joined hand in hand with the wicked. All right, so we're gonna now get into Project Bluebeam a little bit, and then that'll be it for this.
Project Bluebeam. We know that they have the Project Bluebeam technology. We've seen some of the stuff online where we see AI depicting alien invasions, and it's insane technology. And remember, they're 50 years advanced in what they have. They can simulate things in the sky. I've shown you some of the stuff that we've seen over the years with drones and light shows that they put up in the sky that look so realistic in China and other countries, Beijing. Well, we obviously all know that Project Bluebeam could serve multiple purposes. They could fake a return of Jesus Christ. Now, remember the narrative here in America, the Christian revival, the artificial, manufactured Christian revival that they're creating around Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump, where a lot of these Christians are just easily deceived. They're mixing America with God and politics with God. They could easily be deceived into something where Jesus appears in the sky, which is one of the plans for Project Bluebeam. Or they could just simulate these alien ships up in the sky, of course, cloaking actual military aircraft that could be used to just send directed energy weapons down into cities around us. So for anyone that doesn't know about Project Bluebeam, here is a clip in more detail that everybody out there should listen to.
1986, while stationed at an underground installation near Boulder, Colorado, I was introduced to Project Skybeam by Lieutenant General Andrew Garris. I was then led down a corridor and into a large hangar, where a stealth bomber hovered only 20 feet above me. I stood there confused, and Garris looked over at me and smiled, then asked if I was certain of what I was seeing. I replied, of course. What else could it be? I was then shocked to find out that this wasn't a real craft. It was a projected hologram. Since the early 1950s, scientists have been developing holographic technology, and over the years improved it to a state that we can only imagine. As I stood there staring at the bomber, which looked so absolutely real and solid that I could reach up and touch it, I contemplated the possibilities. What if this projection was 1,000 feet up in the sky? How would anyone know that that was an illusion? The Phoenix Lights craft, witnessed by 10,000 people, was the first grand-scale skybeam test upon the public. They succeeded beyond expectations. In October 1938, Orson Welles released his War of the Worlds radio broadcast to the American public. It was so realistically portrayed, vast portions of the population went into panic. Terrified citizens scrambled to evacuate their cities in droves. America had been easily tricked by very simple means. To amplify this response, those who are truly in power of not only our country, but all the countries on the planet, and who are the true purveyors of the depopulation process, have formulated the final stage of their sinister plan. In the year 2024, a global event will alter the course of mankind's future. The world will stand witness to a massive alien invasion. Thousands of projected holographic alien warships will...
And you hear how he said in the year 2024. So they haven't been able to do things as they pleased or on the time that they expected to do it on, because the Most High is the one who's in control.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Blanket the skies, sending people into a global panic. Real military crafts within the holograms will inflict actual damage to the surrounding areas of the cell beginning. And as a result of the ensuing human chaos, a one-world government will immediately form without any resistance from the people. They will be the new world order.
Enough people believe that something is real, that it is real in its effects, in social reality, in terms of the social reality, in terms of what people act according to their beliefs. Yeah. And that opens a question of, really at two levels, perhaps something that we are creating ourselves, perhaps a series of images that we are projecting. I think Carl Jung came very close to expressing that idea in one of his books. Or could it be manipulated purposely by people who have the technology to simulate UFO sightings? And people say, well, of course not. Who would do a thing like that? Well, I will remind you that during the Watergate investigation, it was discovered that there was a plan originated in the White House to surface a submarine off the coast of Cuba and paint the second coming of Christ over the island of Cuba using holograms, which is well within our technology today. The idea was that since there's a large Catholic population in Cuba, they would be so upset by this vision that this would saturate the communication channels, the telephone system in Cuba, long enough for an invasion to take place.
How interesting. I've never heard of that.
Well, I think that's a classic in psychological warfare, but that kind of manipulation is well understood. And I have personally investigated several apparently genuine UFO cases where there was, in fact, my conclusion, the conclusion of scientists working with me, was that there was, in fact, a manipulation taking place and that it was not a hoax on the part of the witnesses, but a hoax on the part of somebody much better organized.
Yep. So, anyways, I know that was a lot of information, just like Elias Wamba coins it, it might be strong, but it's, might be long, but it's strong,
Yeah, but they told on themselves. He said it at the end, right?
That's
it's
it.
Somebody who, is in high power.
That's it. Someone who's in high power, and that's all we got to do nowadays is just because, hey man, we didn't break down everything. Started with the apostles and bishops on down. Like everything has been brought out in the scriptures, and now we're going over the same things because the prophecies are speaking. Okay, they're speaking.
That's right.
In the time, right? We're in those times. So this is gonna be my last precept. This is Job 15 and 34, or 35 rather, and I'll get this in the NLT. It says, you know what? Let me get this in King James actually. This is Job 15 and 35. It says, they conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepareth deceit. You see, that's going through their mind. So they bring forth mischief, as you can see with the Project Blue Gleam and all the information that came out, what they're able to do with that. And this was decades ago that they had that technology, and they were going to use it on Cuba, right, with that whole situation. So we'll see, man. We're, as the prophets, we're set up to let you know what could happen according to Bible prophecy and what will happen as well. So that's it for me. I don't know, brother, got anything else you want to bring out?
Add on.
Got a quick
Quick script. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 verse 4. It says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. In the hand of Yahweh is the prosperity of man, and upon the person of the scribe shall he lay his honor. Well, the reason why I brought that out is this is all Yahweh Bashem Yahushai script, right? At the end of the day, so we have to be mindful that we're just playing our part, doing the work of the Lord, which is he's using us as his tool, as his mouthpiece to speak to the people and to show them, there is a way out, which is coming back to the Heavenly Father, at the end of the day, to the whole and be a part of the hopeful elect, right? So I had to bring that scripture out just to let you know this is all set up through Yahweh Shemel Shai, whether you like it or not, man. Whatever is going on right now, this is because our people are wicked. So what you see going on taking place around the world, this is because this world needs that to happen, man. They need to be purged.
It's not just our people, but the whole earth, man.
That's right.
The Lord prefaces Jake because that's who he's been dealing with. But, Wickedness is multiplied throughout the whole four corners of the earth, man, through this devil who's in rulership, mismanagement, man. That's it on that?
Yeah, but I got Second Ezra chapter 16.
Well, let Ashar bring out his precept.
Oh, yeah.
He had one too. He was older.
So, like, you keep. Is there an echo?
Oh, no, you're good.
You're good now. Go ahead.
This is
what are you gonna read?
Job 20:4. Knoweth thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumph of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. So Esau is in borrowed time right now, right? The end of his kingdom is coming to an end. Verse 6, thou his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his hair reach unto the clouds. Verse 7, yea, he should perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him, so like they which have seen him should say, where is he?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
He will be suddenly falling apart. Go ahead. Sorry.
This is Second Ezra 16, verse 8. The mighty Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai send the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire to go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord
so
Yahweh,
with all this devil's witchcraft and deceit and psyops, he's not ready for the real thing.
That's right.
When the real thing happens, man, the whole world is gonna be shook. All right. Go ahead.
It says, verse 11, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also, before the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consumes the foundation of the earth.
Yeah, so World War III, right? World War III. But anyways, we're gonna close up. Lord willing, that was straightforward and edifying to the whole full elect of the nation of Israel. We give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders, the great millstone rule well, and have taught us this word in truth and sincerity, and peace and mercy to the whole full elect, starting with the 144,000. All right, that's pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Above all, Kwam Shalom, and Shabbat Shalom to the whole full elect. Lord willing, this was straightforward and edifying.